gonna open up the Water Sewer Commissioners meeting January 3rd, 2023 already. And it's 7:15. President is Bob Josie, Colin Hare, Keith Waniaz, and Systems Manager Bob Sullivan. So we'll start off with the Systems Manager Water and Sewer reports for December.
Alright, so, well, the water report's from November, because we don't have time to get all the numbers
Oh, okay.
calculated from the first previous month, so. So for the month of November, we pumped 5,908,900 gallons for an average of 190,610 gallons a day. We used 462 gallons of KOH, 236 gallons of batched chlorine solution. The coliform sampling for the month came back clean. System repairs, we did a service line curb to house leak at 13 Manchog. We dug and repaired, it was dug and repaired by Starrick. The house to house water service set up for 11 Manchog. New generator startup at Primary with Renaud and Kraft. New pole transformers at Primary by National Grid. Cross connection to the well eliminated. So at 12 Depot Street, when that sold, we went inside and there was an unbelievable amount of plumbing involved in that house. So they had an existing well as well. So we had to make sure that was cut off so that it wasn't interconnected with the.
On Depot Street? They had a well?
Yeah. Yeah, they get a well, they get a solar heating system. They get like 6 different type boilers. They got gas, they've got oil, they've got wood, they've got pellet stove. And just everything was interconnected.
The well tied into the town water, right? Or?
It wasn't on, but it was connected, so we had them eliminate that.
Eliminate it completely, yeah, okay.
And then 120 Gilboa Street, we connected the water and the fire service. Tomorrow they're supposed to test the backflow, and then their fire system should be on town water instead of the river. One thing I talked to John today about was they're supposed to cement that line that comes from the river to block that line off.
Mm-hmm.
But then when we were out there doing the walkthrough for the gas project, just came across my mind that that pipe's pretty low in the river, and before it gets to the road, maybe we should think about digging down and cutting that pipe and putting a hydrant on there, like a drafting hydrant, not a fire hydrant, but a drafting hydrant for the fire department in case anything ever happens and they need another source of water. Like the pipe's already in the river. Just seems like that might be another option for the fire department. Knowing how many buildings and everything that's going to be in that area and the size of the buildings, it's always good to have another option.
Yeah, it sounds like a good idea.
And I'll talk to the fire department, and then we'll have to talk to them before they fill it with cement.
Yeah, they have those standpipes that you see a lot in
Just the
ponds.
drafting things that you see out of either
They could just
cisterns
hook on and
or.
suck out.
But just set it so it comes up above the river level, and see if they can come up with something to use it for a drafting point.
So Gustafson's gonna put in the backflow? Or is it in our...
I think R.C. Shaw. I don't know if it was Guston or R.C. Shaw. Those two work together to do whatever they needed to do.
Oh, okay.
It's already installed. It's getting tested tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
Monthly maintenance. The tank inspections were done. pH calibrations at all the pump stations. Replaced the analyzer filter cartridges at Glen and Primary, and load tested Glen's generator. We replaced one radio and wire at Pond Street, or 1 meter, and then a radio and wired at 62 Pond. Did 7 final reads, 1 new connection. Then we had our first kickoff meeting on the asset management on the sewer project. That's what Ty and Bond. We did 2 loads of furniture that we ended up getting for free. So, as usual, we try to scavenge all the free furniture we can.
Yep.
So we get some bookcases, some tables, some desks, file cabinets. We purged the bubbler airlines at the Gilboa sewer station. So we had a lot of issues after they broke the force main when they were doing the sewer project. So I don't remember when we haven't had meetings for a while, so I don't remember what I filled you guys in on. So when they started the sewer project over there, when they first started the excavation, how they hit it, I have no idea, because they were at the manhole, had the manhole cover off, you could see where the force main was, and they still sheared it right off at the manhole with the excavator.
Oof.
So they had to hire, I think they had Helgerson come in with a pump truck and kept pumping out Gilboa and bring it over here until they could repair that line. So when they were pumping out Gilboa, the pump station, they were banging the air bubbler system that tells you the level in there. So the level got all off, so we ended up spending a couple days trying to get the back where it should be to get the levels right. So that was one of the headaches of that project. Unclogged the Allen lines over here at the treatment plant. Curbed off Douglas Village Package Store. I believe that's still shut off. Had an iron service coming in and it got sheared off right at the wall. So we ended up shutting that down because it flooded the whole building. We did watermark outs for Ashland on Main Street. Watermarks for Eversource on Lackey Dam, Gilboa, and North. And basement meter inspection at 3A Street. Any questions on the water side?
Nope.
Let's see, the December report for the sewer, we had 7.24 inches of rain. We had 7.4 million gallons of flow for an average of 239,000 a day. Synagro hauled 104,400 gallons away. Wasted 140,840 gallons for an average of 4,544 a day. 449 gallons of alum, 0 gallons of sodium hydroxide, 453 kilowatt hours of electricity, and the river average was 861.817 cubic feet per second. We're preparing for the first quarter toxicity, and I don't know if you guys noticed our weather station out there,
Yeah.
but the Synagro driver did not know how to drive the truck very well and ran over it.
You tell me about that.
Yeah,
Has
he,
it been fixed yet?
no, they said they ordered it, so should be coming in any time.
Oh, okay. No, we're still only running at 140,000 gallons down here a day.
No, that's, the average was 239,000.
Oh, 239. Okay, I'm sorry. Oh, you wasted, all right.
Yeah, we had a lot of rain, so.
It's still, still way under capacity.
Yeah, we're taking care of that once we get a lot of this stuff online.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's true.
we got 4.5 million square feet, roughly, of warehouse that's gonna be going online. So, I mean, once all those go online, we'll probably be getting close to our capacity on the water side. So we should probably start looking at the process to get the Water Management Act permit increased.
Back to where it was originally?
That's a good starting point, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, they changed that, what, about 10 years ago now?
It wasn't quite 10. I want to say probably around 2012,
No, not that.
somewhere around there, maybe. Maybe 10 years.
That's 10 years ago.
Yeah,
Was it
Getting
that,
like
was
10.
that long already?
It was a while ago. Yeah, I mean, we fought it for a little while, and then the selectmen took the advice of town council and signed the agreement. But
Yeah, we were permitted for like 404 or something originally, wasn't it?
something like that, yeah.
reduced it. And we have the ability to reduce.
Well over $1 million.
Yeah, a million gallons.
It's right around $1 million that we can
Yeah.
pump.
1.06, I think it was. if I remember correctly.
That was the number that the wells were tested and approved at.
Yeah,
But based on our pumping,
yeah.
I mean, once we rehab the wells, we might get the number that we can pump a little higher. But how much we can pump per minute right now, it's a little under $1 million. But still, it's 3 times what we currently are approved to pump.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not that I want to be pumping 24/7, but
No.
still, we can afford to go a lot higher than we are.
Now, how much of a problem is that getting that approved?
It's a lengthy process, and they'll make us jump through all kinds of hoops. But
I'm sure there's a fee associated with it.
typically, yeah. So, I mean, we'll look at it once if these buildings go online. Make sure see where we stand. Through the droughts, and I think some of with the way we structured the rates, I think that helped curb some of the excessive uses. That deterred people a little bit from wasting. Some, not others, but we could look at it and see how long out the permit goes, and perhaps try to negotiate a higher permit the next round if we can last that long. But if there's any more development moving forward, I mean, right now we're in the middle of a site readiness grant that we're evaluating the water and sewer to go down Davis Street, and that's to make that kind of site ready so that the infrastructure is in place to be able to develop the commercial or industrial land down that way. So if that moves forward, then we would have to do something sooner rather than later.
Sooner, yeah. Now down the pit down here, is there what's the story on that?
Which one? The 1.1 million?
Yeah. No, the Pines Pit there.
Oh, Pine. I mean, nothing's moved forward on that yet.
Just so it's a couple of years down the road yet.
I think they're gonna move pretty quick. I mean, the same company bought that owns the McIntyre one. So my assumption would be they'd want to. I mean, ideally they'd want to be
Go from there to this.
work on this one, get this one, and then move over to there and start working. There's still a few things going on. Some of that is we got the site readiness grant. I think I emailed all of you about we got awarded the site readiness grant to do the engineering for up North Street. We were a little shy on between the grant that we got and the money that we approved at town meeting. I think we got the grant for $539,000, $529,000, somewhere around there, and then we approved $100,000 at town meeting. So that's $639 or $629, and then the engineering estimate came in at $720 to do that project. So we're still short, and I know Bob and Eric had put something on the selectmen's agenda for tonight to discuss using ARPA funds to fund that gap. Doesn't necessarily mean we'll use the 750, but I can't sign the contract for 750
We're not having the money.
if we don't have all the funding in place. So the engineering scopes, I think one of the questions I saw at the selectmen's meeting last time when that was brought up was, how did you have a contract for exactly $750,000? Usually it comes in, $738,325 or whatever. But on the engineering, they give you an estimated cost, and they do it on a time and material essentially. So however many hours they work on the project is what they bill. So if it only takes them 50% of the time, we'll only get billed for $375,000, not $750. So it's all based on the rates and what work they put into it. So it's just easier when you're doing an estimate. It's a round number, is easy to work with. So
Yeah.
So you have to meet Bob, or so you gonna text him when they get ready, or?
Bob's not there. Bob had somewhere else to be. So I'm not
he's
sure.
Not there either.
Yeah, no. So I'm not sure if the selectmen may be able to handle it on their own. I don't know, but he just asked me if I could go up there, but I told him we had a meeting. So if we finish up, I might run up there in case they have questions. But.
Yeah, good idea.
So the, well, are we all done with the reports?
Gonna bypass the approval of minutes of meeting. And project update.
Yeah, so that's what I was asking if we were all done. 'Cause
Kinda like, yeah.
so I started to get into that a little bit. So I'm sure you guys get calls. This project didn't go nearly as smooth as the water project. This contractor was not as smooth and as versed in, all the little nuances that cause the headaches. Traffic signs, road construction. The majority of our complaints and issues were trench work. The
Worst
trenches.
trench management ever.
Exactly.
I didn't get any complaints. I was gonna ask, what are you guys
No, I
doing
didn't
down
get
there?
any either.
What are you guys doing down there?
Yeah, so
You probably got more.
I got a lot of calls.
Yeah, I'm sure you
I
did.
got 3 police reports from blown out tires and rims, and
Oh, wow.
but
And I'm sure John took a lot too.
oh yeah, John
I'm sure,
called me often.
yeah. My only complaint about the times I went through was one day, the steel plates were sticking up, like I'm thinking, oh, somebody's gonna come through here, and
Yeah, so steel plate was one of the issues.
that was the only thing, one of the days. that I
It had
was-
slid, and I had talked to them beforehand. I said, look, if you're leaving plates, you need to pin them. And they never pinned them. And a couple trucks went over, and they moved, and
Oh,
then
yeah,
they
it would
opened
take
up, and
much.
a car went in between the plates and
Oh,
hit a plate square on. So,
Yeah,
um,
yeah, that's not good.
but, they didn't calcium the trenches a lot like they should have. The paving crew, I don't know if you guys drove through while they were doing any of the paving, but for
Oh,
the
the
ma-
paving wasn't even close to the way.
no.
I mean, for the majority of it, it was 2 guys, a skid steer. They dump all the asphalt on the ground, and then they take the skid steer and fill the trench in. And one guy was just raking all day long. Yeah, just very poor management on that. They finally, probably 3/4 of the way through it, they got rid of that company and brought another company in.
Oh, is that right?
It was much better, but still nothing compared to what we had on the first part of the job. It's still very rough driving through.
Oh yeah, it's not like.
Yeah, I mean, night and day, and it's the method. CJP was smart enough to use a small milling machine. They milled it, and when you mill it, you mill over where you dug, so you got hard surface to set on a bench, and then they used a paving machine instead of hand doing it with a skid steer. So, I mean, there's simple ways to do a trench even with a skid steer. They make paving boxes, the old style boxes they used to hook on the back of a dump truck, and you just drag it along. They make them for skid steers. You can dump it in there and just push it, and
Yeah.
it makes it smooth, it makes it level, and when you roll it, they didn't know how to roll either. I mean, I watched them do that. I mean, everyone knows that you pinch the edges first, and then you go down the middle, because once you pinch the edges, it keeps it. But if you drive down the middle, it pushes it all out the sides.
Yeah.
So we did get a lot of complaints over the trench maintenance and the trench stuff itself.
The worst part, I think, was that just a hill in front of
The hill was the worst, yeah,
Through where it
just
crossed
between the
over.
shell and the,
Yeah,
because it was coming out into the road,
yeah.
and there was a couple times that the trench was so bad that John ended up going out, and they had no options but put cones, and now the traffic was kind of going out into head-on traffic. It was just, the whole thing was just
Yeah.
terrible. I mean,
It's too bad you gotta go with the low bidder all the time, but
and I mean, there was just a lot going on. I mean, I will say that we were pushing a very aggressive timeline, trying to get things in to meet the needs that we had, to meet the needs that our customers have. And we met them, so we finished everything we needed to for this year to get that project that's already complete
which is good,
online. So it wasn't us holding up anything. Now it's National Grid; they don't have power, but we at least got our portion done to not be what's holding the project up down there.
Do
When
they
are
have
you
an
gonna stop
occupant
the
for that
gas?
building yet?
No, I guess they had one, but they backed out. So still nobody knows what's going in there.
They're supposed to start the gas this week, are they?
Yeah, so I went out there today to meet with them. I don't know if they're saw cutting tomorrow or Thursday.
That's not going very deep though, is it?
Probably
3 feet?
4 feet.
Oh, it's going 4?
Yeah, so it'll be close.
How long is that portion supposed to take?
They're figuring it's going to take right through till spring, because they don't move nearly as fast as the
Gas
water or
doesn't-
sewers.
yeah,
So
gas doesn't move
Yeah.
very fast.
So
there's
with
a stretch
gas-
in Millbury that they take forever on. It was like a mile and a half, and it was
Yeah.
like 2 weeks.
So typically gas, and if you followed all of the protocols that they have in place, you typically get about 80 feet a day, which is 2 pipes.
That's it?
Yeah. So when you do gas, it's butt fused pipe. So
Right.
they've got a machine that goes on there. You put the 2 pieces, you heat it up, you stick them together, and then it has to cool. It's like 8 minutes of heating to get it to seat, and then you got to cool it for like 8 minutes where you can't touch it, can't move it, can't do anything, and then you got to cool it for 45 minutes before you can rough handle it.
Oh.
So for every joint, it's like an hour-long process.
Mhm.
And then they also, obviously, some of them drove through during our project, and they said, "We won't have any trenches like that. They pave every day, so there's no open trenches left. So whatever they put in, they
They
pave
pave.
the same day." So all the trenches will be paved. We just went out and did a walkthrough this afternoon, up and down, just to see where we're starting. So again, we're making things a little more difficult. We're rushing things, so they can't go the way they normally do, where they'll start down there and just work their way to where they want to get to. They're going to come and do in front of where the bridge is. That's going to go to the CRG project, because CRG is going to put barriers out in the road, Jersey barriers out in the road, to set up the pile driver to put the sheathing in for the bridge.
Oh, okay.
So with the Jersey barriers out there, already taking a third of a lane, and then the gas company work, and it'll be blocking everything off. So they're going to try to beat them and put in the section where the bridge is going to be now, because they're supposed to start the bridge stuff the 9th. So they're going to start Wednesday or Thursday to cut the trench, and then they'll start, I think, Friday putting pipe in, and they'll work through until they're done. But like I said, I mean, they thought they might be able to get 200 feet a day, but they're not sure. Depends on how the digging is and
How far are they this way?
for the gas.
They still on the other side of the 146?
Yeah,
Oh.
they're right at the entrance of that Blackstone Valley building. So it's like 9,000 feet of pipe. So it's a lot if you can only do 100, 120 feet a day. So I mean, their pipes are 40 feet long. So if you do 2 sticks, it's 80 feet. If you do 3, it's 120. If they can get 5 in, then it'd be 200 feet. But I don't see 5
So
if
it's
you
at
get
least-
an
at
hour
least an
process
hour
on
a
each
joint.
joint.
Oh.
Yeah, maybe like that. That's 3, maybe 3.
And that's what I was thinking, maybe 3 pipes.
Yeah.
Like I said, and if they're trying to trench patch and everything every day,
Yeah,
you're going to lose a couple hours there. So
Right.
you really only get
probably down to 2.
2 to 3 pipes a day.
Yeah.
You know, if it was me, because we did projects like that, because we used the same process when we did the butt fusion pipes, and we would do, 500 feet, fuse them all up above, and have somebody just trench, and they're trenching while we're fusing. You just roll the whole thing in the trench, so you can get 400 or 500 feet done. But
Yeah. I seen that done up in New Hampshire that way.
yeah, you just put it all together.
They let it flop into the hole.
Yeah.
And just kept as I was going and just keep working right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, but gas has a lot more protocols. You get a water leak, you have to go out and patch it, but get a gas leak, it could be a little bigger problem. So we finished all the 4-inch to the pump station. It's going into the gravity right now to the existing pump station. I'm sure you guys have driven by there, so there's a little section of a gap. So when the new pump station goes in, there'll be a new manhole. That one will get eliminated. They'll come down, tie the gravity into that one, and then the two
And
gravities
where is the new pump station going? Just in front of it?
on
or
this side.
This side of
Yeah,
it?
so come back this side of it
Mm-hmm.
in the like same location, just this way. What is that, westbound?
So are any of the houses and the other things along the way, are they gonna be stubbed off so they can tie in?
Where?
Is it just for businesses?
Well,
For
come
what?
up Gilboa, they're gonna stub off the
I'm sorry,
highway.
that was for gas, you were talking about
Oh,
the water, I'm sorry, yes.
you confused me. I'm like,
Yeah,
everybody's
I
already
know,
on.
I was still on the gas, thinking about the gas thing.
Well, gas, I would imagine they're gonna stub off.
I think they're just getting the main in.
Really?
They'll
tie it
probably
after.
stub the big ones off.
Yeah. Yeah, why
Um,
stub the houses? Yeah, they'll probably never tie in.
Well, they might, but they're just gonna do them. They just said they come out and tap them,
Right.
do them then.
And
Yeah.
maybe as needed.
Yeah. Even the bigger services, except for like the mill. The mill, I think they're gonna put the valve in right away, the T in the valve in there,
That makes sense.
just because it's a 4-inch. It's a harder tap to do. I don't know what they're doing for CRG because the bridge isn't in yet, so we don't know where the exact alignment is, and you got to hit it just right on the gas, just like we had to. We did a whole bunch of calculations and measurements trying to figure out exactly where our sewer pipe's going to be, and we're hoping we're right. But we went over bridge drawings 7 or 8 times, and each one was
that's
different.
gonna wanna get done before they do the final pavement, I would think.
Oh yeah, that'll definitely get stubbed over before we do our final
Yeah,
overlay.
I don't think there'll be final paving until probably the end of this year, beginning of next year.
Yeah, it'll probably be the end of this year.
Yeah, I would hope it is the end of this year.
Well, that's what the contract said. They had to be so.
When I think of it, I've been running down a 16 instead of getting off like it in. Problem is it's just on just habit.
Yeah.
30
Yeah.
years of getting off Lucky Dam, but
Mm-hmm.
just to avoid going down Gilboa.
Well, it's not so bad if you come down Gilboa this way. It's going out that way that's rough now.
I discovered North Street's not much better.
So they're gonna start putting
That
the,
section down by Don's.
islands in for the
that's
bridge?
Yeah, the 9th they're supposed to come out and start, but they're going to start on the other side of the river first.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like a 2-week process, and then they'll come over this side. So yeah, they're starting to work on that.
Boy, they opened up that ground. That was a nice bunch of gravel in there too, huh? Looked like beach sand.
Oh, up where the
Yeah.
bridge is going.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's all I seen that.
it's all good material in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy how much earth they moved over there.
Yeah, it's
Quick
amazing.
too.
Yeah.
Such a short time.
22 yards in one bucket.
Really, the bucket
That's actually
22.
Yeah. Well, it's like that project that they're doing in Sutton. You should see the
20
size of the
20
equipment over there.
Yeah, 20 or 22 yards in one scoop. Wow. So it's a triax. I mean, it's filling
Yeah, they're-
one load. Boom.
Yeah, they get all those big ukes over there. That,
Ukes, yeah.
yeah, if they had an
Sutton,
excavator,
too.
just one, and that guy would go.
22 yards.
It was 20 or 22 yards in the bucket.
That
It's
lot
a-
they're messing around with in Sutton is 400 acres.
Oh, the craft project.
Yeah.
And craft stop, yeah.
All the water and sewer line ran, catch basins in. So it looks like they might be paving, I would
A
think.
lot of big projects going on around here.
Yeah.
Time to open up a big truck stop, Josie's Truck Stop.
Yeah.
The one up on 20 there. What's the one they all go to?
Flynn's.
Flynn's, yeah.
I'll run your fuel desk, Bob. Put Colin in charge of the showers or something.
It pays the same. I don't care.
Alright, so we're all set with the project update then?
Oh, yeah, so the 4 inch is done.
Yeah.
The 6 inch is done. There's just the ends and we got to tie it all together.
Yeah. When they do the pump station.
The pump station, and they got to put a vault in for the valves to tie the 4 and the 6. The 4 and the 6 with check valves and isolation valves. So
I'm
But
assuming
yeah.
that's gonna go off the side of the road.
no, that'll be in the road, but
They'll be in the road?
yeah, but you couldn't get the vaults in time, and I mean, I wanted to get as much done as we could,
Oh, yeah.
so we can get through a winter winter
It's
frost
bad
and
enough
everything.
now with the trenches, I mean, it's gonna be even worse with the frost and everything else, but unfortunately, we gotta live with it.
Yep.
Just gotta make sure that you get a lot of good compaction around the vault and stuff when we put it in.
And when you put the vault in, I mean, you don't need access to that later?
Oh yeah, there'll be a manway. There'll be a hatch or a manhole
Oh, okay.
that we can get in. We're hoping we never have to go in it, but
Yeah, I know. What kind of valves are going in there?
plug
Just-
valves. Plug valves.
Oh, okay.
So there's that. We're probably a quarter of the way through the design on the Davis Street and Monroe Street for the water and sewer, and then we're still in the process of getting that resolved so we can get the contract in place to start the water and sewer going up North Street.
So what's for the Davis Street, how far is that going?
I think the design is kind of looking at all of it,
The town line?
Right to Uxbridge?
probably to the Uxbridge line with the water. Sewer, they'll probably go as far as they can gravity, which my estimate would probably be about the pipeline, where the pipeline
Yeah,
crosses.
Yeah, there's kind of kind of humps up there.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
we can go like the peak of the hill is before that, but
Yeah.
you can go a certain depth. It'll be a deep cut through the hill, but you can get probably about to the gas line and still have gravity. Anything beyond that is probably going to be a pump station.
Well, is there much commercial land up in there?
Probably a couple hundred acres, right?
Yeah, more than that.
150, 200.
Pretty much it goes all the way to from Davis Street over to Poplar Avenue, that big piece in there,
Yeah.
and that next to the big piece in there.
And that Maple Street piece that was all hacked up, that's still,
Yeah. No, they changed that town meeting. I think that was changed back to residential, I think.
It was?
Yeah, on the other side of the rail bed.
yeah.
Yeah. I think that was changed. If I remember correctly. It was discussion on it, but I have to refresh.
Yeah.
Yeah, remember that. Oh, no, they tried, I'm sorry, reverse that. They tried changing it to residential, I think, and they left it.
the commercial.
Commercial, yeah. Somebody petitioned to change it to residential.
Yeah.
They left it commercial, I believe.
So yeah, the other project would be the North Street. Like I said, we're the water, sewer, drainage, potentially straightening the road a little. I don't know if might be sidewalks involved in the design.
And the Bubs, that's about possible sidewalk?
Yeah. Yeah, but we got to go through the engineering process to see if it's possible and everything. So, so we'll go through that.
Would that be a golf ball tank at the same time?
Yeah. So an elevated tank. I don't know if you'd call it a golf ball. It might be, one of those that kind of looks like a silo but elevated. We're still arguing back and forth as to the volume. I'm guessing it'll be around 300,000. I know the engineer started off at 500,000 or even bigger, but I was like, it's
Too much standing water.
it's just
Yeah.
too much, and it's going to be at the same working
be the same
elevation
height as over
as
here.
Franklin. So
Yeah.
trying to fill and lower both those tanks at the same time, that's a lot of water to turn over, and it'll be like, all right, now we're not going to run pumps for 2 days, and then all of a sudden we got to run them for 3 days straight to catch back up. So
Yeah.
all that's part of the engineering process, but I just quickly went through numbers in my head and came up with 300 is probably about the best option.
I was gonna say 500,000 gallons, that's a lot of water.
It's a lot of water, and without knowing exactly how much water all these buildings are going to use, I don't know how much turnover we'll get. And with the amount of water we pump right now, we're at the high end of storage capacity for days storage as it is. So that
What
might
did
be.
they figure the water use on that warehouse?
What's that?
What did they figure the water use on a warehouse like that?
Um,
Does anybody have any ideas or?
Well, the one that's already built is supposed to be 7,500 gallons a day. The one in Douglas is supposed to be like 23,000 gallons a day,
Really? That much?
and then the other one's going to be 3 times that.
Wow.
So we're pushing really close to our capacities per the Water Management Act permit, not our capacities that we can pump, but so
Well, we had argued that, I think, originally, when that was all was coming up, saying that once a lot of
I know what I
developments,
did.
you know, once a lot of the development that's gonna take place,
yeah,
we're gonna be
It
at.
almost sounds like we've gotta start working on that pretty soon.
we do. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
I mean, the pine one will be 2 years out, and you know this one will be probably going online.
About a year.
Yeah, maybe a year.
I don't think those are big water consumption.
No, they're not
think
huge
they're-
users, but when the one at Pine, I mean, it's just the massive size, and then the usage will go up a little at like the Shell station.
Yeah, sure, we're not all the.
You know what I mean? A lot of the other things will pick up some.
Yeah, and then it might draw in other things.
That's what
There
I
might
mean,
be
you know.
Other stuff,
Right, yeah.
like I joke around about the the truck stuff.
Truck stuff,
but
yeah.
That's a very real possibility
Yeah.
somewhere in this area with that many trucks
And
around.
there'll be a lot of usage,
Yeah.
water usage there.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I mean, if all those buildings, you know, if they're 24/7, there'll be somebody's going to put in like the truck stop with showers and
Mhm.
you know bathrooms and
Oh, yeah.
They was
Right
talking
up.
about, that a few years back, down for 146, on the right, that first,
There's
west
nothing.
area.
Yeah.
All through there, they talked about
Yeah.
doing that at some point.
Yeah, they're talking about over by the Walmart or something, right?
Yeah, somewhere, I think they were trying to get one north and one south, somewhere in
yeah.
there.
Sooner or later, it's gonna happen.
Well,
There's
Uxbridge
no
down by
truck stops
McDonald's, yeah, Uxbridge down by McDonald's would be really an ideal spot, you know. And then one on the other side of the road somewhere else, but anyway, it'll draw in, naturally draw in other businesses, you know, fast food joints and what have you, so. Whether they end up on ours or on somebody else's, but.
yeah. So I guess that's about it for right now for projects. Well, no, actually,
here. It's enough.
no. So we started the sewer asset management. So it'll basically be looking at all the assets, the wastewater plant, all the underground piping, everything, and evaluating it, putting kind of a life cycle and all that to it, so that we'll be able to budget better as to what needs to be done. So part of the I&I stuff that we did. So here's the report, but here's a map with a breakdown of a lot of the work that we did. You guys probably can't see everything that needs to be done, but you can see there's a key over here that shows work that needs to be done in different areas. So all of this work we'll try to incorporate. Actually, this isn't the one that's showing the work. This is the survey stuff. But I have another map here that shows repairs and stuff that need to be done. There's some root intrusion in some of them. It's not very bad. It's not causing a problem per se, but roots don't go away and don't get better. So we'll have to do some root treatment. There's some manholes that were identified that need to be rehabbed.
And that's in these sections here.
Well, all 5 sections.
Oh, yeah.
So there's 5 different sections we kind of segregated. But there's sections in each of them that either need manhole repairs or manhole lining or pipe lining or root treatment. So
And that's all been done.
no, that's all been identified.
Identified, I mean.
That was all part of the evaluation that we've done over the last year and a half or so. I'll find the other map for you guys. I haven't actually gone through them all yet. I just got them this week. So, so anyway, we
So
we
if
got
get-
approved.
What are we gonna do, be like doing one zone at a time, or is
So
it gonna be what's worse?
So
Those
like
areas.
kind of where like the direction I was going before when we had discussed it was we were a little bit behind, so it would have been nice to include some in some of these projects. But one of the things is if we've got I from all these, and that's what the purpose of this is, to find out where we're getting rainwater and infiltration and inflow, whether it be sump pumps or whatever, or manholes that need to be repaired. So when they do projects like this, typically I would try to put something on and say, look, you guys want to add 40,000 gallons of flow to the treatment plant before we overextend our capacity. You know, we need to eliminate some of the I to offset the additional flow from you. So that's where typically we would work some of that into some of these bigger projects. We're working a lot of infrastructure stuff already into these projects, so I don't feel bad that we missed an opportunity
Right.
to try to include it, but there's still a lot of projects going
I was
on.
gonna say, is that pit? We can
Yeah, so that's why I
go
wanted to try to get as far as we could in the evaluation, and but that's where, in order to do the Pine project, that's the whole purpose of this North Street project that we're moving forward on with the engineering, or hopefully. When they're doing that, it'll give us the design to do the water main over. We've already identified some of the issues with the sewer, so as part of that whole project, we're gonna try to get all the sewer issues fixed
Right.
going up North Street, so that'll resolve that area. So that's 1/5 of our projects right there. Some of it, I would look at some of the higher priority ones, and we'll probably budget and do a little bit each year.
Where was the worst infiltration?
I don't know, like I said, I just got it, so I
Oh,
haven't read
okay.
through everything yet. So I got a whole report to go through. I brought it home with me, but I was sick all weekend, so I didn't get through that. But like I said, some of it's manhole issues, some of it's, some of the pipe is delaminating. It's not a major issue, but it's better to get it lined now before it turns into an issue. So once I have time to go through it all, I'll kind of try to give you guys the executive summary as to what we need to do, and try to prioritize it and say, all right, let's see if we can get 5 manholes done this year, and then next year we'll try to line 100 feet of pipe. Or
Yeah, 'cause
whatever.
they have everything outlined here, what they need. So
Right.
manholes and all that.
Yeah, so I mean, I think we'll try to, like you said, what's the worst area? It seemed like C Street for some reason was bad. I don't know what the issue was there, or if it was a pump station kicking on issue. So I'll probably go up and evaluate it myself a little further. But they did say, I think that was some of the pipe, they thought it should be lined on C Street, but
Oh, really?
yeah, so the Davis Street pump station does pump into C Street. So every time that pump kicks on, you're getting a rush of flow, and then nothing, then a rush of flow. So it probably sees a lot more flow than the normal gravity pipe. So that could be the reason, but
Is that Transite?
yeah.
Yeah, I think so, on that street, huh?
Yeah, so I mean, I'll go through it further, and kind of we'll come up with a list, and it'll probably be a big ticket if you try to do it all at once. But like I said, a lot of these are small issues, and if we can add them as part of a project, so I'd probably hold off on the stuff on Davis Street and try to incorporate that into when, hey, we need to do these repairs before we can have you add more flow to this area.
Now, they cameraed everything, right?
We haven't cambered everything, so
Because I was gonna say on C Street, I mean, it could be, there's a lot of ledge over there.
Yeah, there's a lot of sump pumps over
Could
there.
be a lot of crack,
there is a lot of sump
Translate.
pumps. I mean, we had the one right at 3C Street. That,
yeah.
The other thing too with the manholes, I don't know if there was any possibility to utilize highway if they were doing a catch basin in the area, rebuilding it, if they happen to be
the repairs that we need to do are a little different than what
More than
highway
that.
does.
Yeah.
I mean, they're usually
Yeah.
barrel block. Ours it's a hydraulic issue coming in on ours. Theirs is usually the bricks are falling apart.
Oh, I thought that's what some of the issues were besides that.
So it's a little different on their type project, but some of the issues are like the chimneys and around the covers. As part of this project, I included everything on Gilboa and this section of North and Northeast Maine, replacing all the frames and covers, both the stormwater, the wastewater, and the catch basins. So all that's gonna get replaced before we pave in these areas, so that should resolve some of those issues. But they have things that, they've got a lot of technology on the wastewater and the I&I stuff, the cure in place lining. It's like a sock they put in and they just shoot it down there and then they hit it with like a steam and it hardens in place. So it's like you put a new pipe inside an old pipe and it's, you know, you get another 50 years out of it. So they've got things that they can do similar for the manholes. It's a sock that goes in, it goes down there, they inflate it inside and it seals everything
most
up.
of the problems with manholes,
Huh?
I would think, most of the problems seem to be with manholes. And it's all brick and
Yeah.
water gets right in there.
I mean, I know when we were doing our own cammering, we found one up on North Street where a lateral coming in, it was just pouring in around the boot. So yeah, that wasn't done right. So that'll have to be dug up and fixed. But like I said, I intend to do all the sewer repairs on North Street as part of that project,
Part of the project,
if we move forward with that project. So, but that'll probably be a $10 to $12 million project. So. Me and Bob are constantly working on ways to fund some of it, and he's working currently towards, and that's part of the engineering, is to make it so we're ready to try to get another MassWorks grant to do part of that work. So if we could get $4 million out of MassWorks, you know, now a 10 to 12 million comes down to, you know, six to
6 or 8.
And because we did so well on these projects and keeping the budget down, I mean, I think we lucked out that we pre-purchased the pipe that made that project come in way under budget because people bid it aggressively on the water side. And again, the sewer was really aggressive. I think they messed up on their bid, but stuck to it anyway. So we came in well under budget on the sewer portion so far. So with how much we've kept it down and all the grants and stuff that Bob got, we shouldn't have any money coming out of the contractors even. And, you know, they had anticipated there was 2 or 3 million from one and $1.5 million from another. So, you know, we're trying to work with them to see if they can contribute some of that money that they saved towards the storage tank on North Street. Because if we can get moving on the storage tank, that makes it a much more, if we can get it funded towards the storage tank, it makes it a much better application for a MassWorks, saying that the town's already committing a certain amount of money towards these projects and private investment. So it makes it more appealing to MassWorks. So it'll just make our application look better. It'll bring the cost down a little bit of the project. And if we can get a storage tank up there, it eliminates, I don't want to say it eliminates, but in my opinion, it eliminates the need for storage tanks on each of those properties. Because if you put storage tanks down there, you know, we're relying on them to maintain them.
Yeah.
You know, you got a tank full of stagnant water. You don't know if somebody hooks up with a pump and pushes back into our system, whatever. It's just stuff that I'd prefer to eliminate. You know, if we have a tank, we maintain it. You know, we do routine maintenance all the time. We do inspections all the time. The water's getting turned over all the time. It's not water just sitting there getting stagnant. You know, you don't want to have a fire and all of a sudden somebody forgot they never filled the tank. You know, who knows? And I think that, you know, ours would set it up and they'd have plenty of pressure gravity-wise filling down here. As we've seen with 2 of the bigger buildings in town, both of them had failed fire pumps. So if you rely on gravity, there's not a whole lot that goes wrong.
Right.
If you're relying on a pump that runs on fuel or electric and something happens, you know, now you lose that. So if you got a ground level storage tank with a pump and the pump goes down, now you're dead in the water. So there are some advantages to having a tank. They have a pump because they can, it's a different type pump, so they can maintain a pressure at an easier rate. But
If you have gravity, you can probably pretty much maintain that pressure here too.
yeah, it's just a very little boost that they would want in order to meet NFPA.
I'll tell you, we've been very fortunate. I don't recall ever having a job run over budget that we've done.
Yeah, I'm not aware. These ones have come in very, very good.
Cause most projects run 10-15% over, we've never ran over.
The only one I can think
Budget.
of that went over a little bit was, and that wasn't our fault, that was
What was that?
the sewer plant.
Oh, the salt plant,
Remember, because,
I was gonna say, that's probably the only one.
yeah, and that was because the contractor went bankrupt,
Mm-hmm.
right at the end of it, so we had,
Right.
there was a lot of loose ends had to get.
Yeah,
cleaned up, and engineering
Calling
things like
bonds and
that.
everything else on that.
So,
Yeah,
but, that's
yeah,
the
you
only one I
missed
can
out
think
on
of.
that,
I did. Yep.
but it worked out in the end, but
Yeah.
still. But I mean, any project you've done around here, it's always
Yeah.
come
Yeah,
under
all our
budget,
projects
way
have been
under
pretty
budget
good,
in
so.
some cases.
Yep.
So hopefully we can get a few more done before funding dries up. Because it's even better when we come in under budget and it wasn't our money to begin with. So,
Yeah, we've been lucky.
We've been fortunate with the amount of grant money,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
when this came through.
So, speaking of that, so the sewer asset management, we're moving forward with that. We did just get awarded the water asset management, so that won't start till later on, like end of the year if we start that one up. We'll probably be finishing the sewer one about when that one will start. So we got the sewer asset management. We also got the grant for the lead and copper.
Yeah.
The what do you call it?
Oh, you got the
Inventory.
grant for that?
Yeah, so we got approval on that one too. So that was another 200,000. I say it was like almost 90,000 for the water asset management. I think we had 75,000 for the sewer asset management. So those are 3 more projects that'll be going on over this next year, on top of the other ones that we got going.
Yeah.
So. All right,
That's
so that
good.
should do it for
That's
project
good.
updates.
Good work.
The school exception meter, I'd put that on just because we did say at the last meeting that we'd have them in January to discuss where they have gotten with the well.
Yeah, I did say at the end of it, is January, February, because I thought,
Yeah,
Did
I know they
say- I
said
know-
December, and I'm like, chances are usually not good for November or December for the
Right.
meetings, and so I know we'd said January, February, so
Yeah.
I just had to throw it on
I
here.
think Mr. Rivera said, he had said that January, February would probably be good as well.
Right.
In that meeting.
So
Yeah, they're gonna come back with some kind of a plan for a well, right?
they're supposed to, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if they've done anything with it yet. It was kind of last minute having her add it to the agendas, just in case they did plan on coming. I have not reached out to them, so
I'm sure they would have contacted you if they were gonna come. And you did say they didn't wanna come to me and they just give you an update on things and
Right.
you could brief the board.
yeah. So I'll add it to the next agenda as well, and then
I mean, that's
I'll
something
try to
they
meet
should
with them.
be aware of so they can start, putting it in their budget and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's all I get on the school exception. I'll contact them. It's
I
just
was gonna
the
say,
last
why
couple of weeks have
contact
been.
Courtney and-
I had to do a lot more babysitting than I anticipated on this
Yeah,
these
right.
last
Yeah.
month or so. So I got a few other DEP things that I got to catch up on, and then I can go up and meet with them.
Reach out to Courtney and just, put a bug on her ear.
Yeah.
So we don't have to worry about,
Did you,
so it was consensus on the,
that's what it was, yeah, the
Yeah,
motion
so we
wasn't,
don't have
yeah,
to-
cause the
The motion
then
never
it got-
carried,
Then
but
it got
yeah.
discussed.
yeah,
was it?
alright, so we're all
No,
set on
yeah,
that.
it was more of a consensus that they were fine.
I think the goals and objective is pretty much,
Yeah, I think
I was
we got
gonna-
enough goals and objectives in
I
them.
was gonna ask you about the, did Courtney reach out about the meter yet?
No.
You got that, getting that put in?
Yeah, I don't know
I
what
don't-
size. I'd need to go up and look
I
at it. I
know,
don't know.
I know she was gonna get a hold of you, gonna get a hold of her.
Yeah, so I haven't
Get that.
I haven't met with them up there over that at all.
Okay.
Yeah, we got to figure out what size and make sure that the irrigation is the only thing off of that line.
Right, right.
So yeah, we'll take a look at it.
well, I would imagine that'd be the only thing off the line unless they add an outside line or a faucet or
Yeah, well,
something.
that's what I mean. We
But
just
then
want
it's
to.
still gonna go through the meter.
it's gonna go through in a meter, but I don't know what they're using, you know. They could have, if that line starts off here and the irrigation's on the other side, that pipe might go all the way through the building, and
Oh,
if it's
and
the easiest pipe to tap into,
Tap it off,
Yeah.
right, yeah,
Just gotta make sure it's the right one going,
yeah.
that's what I mean, yeah, you just gotta make sure it's
Mhm.
at the point where there's nothing but
isolated.
irrigation
Just
on
that
there.
irrigation, right.
Yeah, like I said, I think goals and objectives, we have enough.
Yeah.
Um,
You wanna put a few more on your plate?
yeah, no.
The only other thing I have on, the last one with the open session is anything on, staff? Anything on
I
any?
got one application,
That's it?
I gotta
Still that one?
get a hold of him and meet with him. See if we can at least make one of them happen. I'll start putting more ads out in different locations. I'll probably add it to LinkedIn, and 'cause I got you know, it's mostly water sewer people that I have on LinkedIn. So
Expensive.
Nobody you can recruit?
yeah, I mean, I'll start reaching out to people.
Feel
Yeah.
different.
Everybody else is gonna be doing
I
the
know, a
same
lot of
thing,
recruitment
stealing.
going on.
Everyone we talk to, you know,
Yeah.
everybody's looking for people, and it's just hard to find right now. So maybe we should have did that with the schools. If we're gonna put an exception meter, then we want them to start a water sewer program at the school. You know? Start training them,
Trying
and
to
get
get
them their
people.
licenses, and
There was somebody local that was not happy with their job. Did you ever hear from him?
yeah, that's the one I got to reach out to.
Oh, okay.
He sent something in, and we'll set something up, see if he's interested, and have him come down and meet with him, and then
Yeah,
you know,
Yeah.
once I get a feel, we'll bring him before you guys.
yeah. That's what I was saying, just kinda talk to him. You get a
Yeah.
better idea if he knows.
Yeah,
He could kinda BS his way with me, or, you know,
right.
us on
Mhm.
some of the stuff with that
Yeah.
way, you're more on top of the.
Yep. So, all right. Yeah, that's I got nothing else for
Yeah.
any of the ads that were out. So
Okay,
Keith? I got nothing. You're all set?
I'm good, yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna make a motion, we adjourn the meeting at 8:15.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.